In a bold move that could redefine the contours of global diplomacy, Donald Trump is set to unravel nearly 8 decades of established American foreign policy during his anticipated second presidency. This transition marks a seismic shift in how the United States interacts with the world, veering away from the multilateralism that has long characterized its approach. As nations from Greenland to Panama brace for the implications of what commentators are dubbing the Trump Doctrine, the ramifications of this policy overhaul are poised to echo across international relations, trade, and security dynamics. Central to this impending shift is the notion of a transactional foreign policy, one that prioritizes national interests and economic benefits over traditional alliances and global cooperation. The Trump administration's strategy appears to be rooted in the belief that past diplomatic efforts, particularly those aimed at fostering international unity, have not yielded the desired results for the United States. The implications of this doctrine extend beyond mere rhetoric. They challenge the very foundations of alliances that have been in place since the end of World War II. The recent report from the U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission highlights the potential for a significant recalibration in trade relations, particularly with China. The Commission advocates for the repeal of China's Permanent Normal Trade Relations (PNTR) status, a designation that has allowed for preferential trade benefits since its approval in 2000. Experts note that such a move could reinvigorate leverage for the United States in its dealings with China, particularly as the two nations navigate increasing tensions over trade practices and economic competition. Peng Zhongying, an international affairs expert at Sichuan University, suggests that Trump's return could provide a timely opportunity for this course of action, especially given the current abnormal shape of bilateral trade. The ramifications of revoking PNTR status would be profound, potentially paving the way for the imposition of tariffs as high as 60% on Chinese goods, a strategy that Trump had previously championed. As nations worldwide recalibrate their strategies in response to the anticipated changes in U.S. foreign policy, the global landscape is likely to experience increased volatility. Countries that have historically relied on American support and partnership may find themselves reassessing their positions and alliances. The specter of isolationism looms large as the Trump Doctrine challenges the effectiveness of existing multilateral institutions and agreements. Moreover, the implications of a more aggressive U.S. stance could extend to security dynamics, particularly in regions like the Middle East, where American influence has traditionally played a stabilizing role. The recent ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas after 15 months of conflict underscores the delicate balance of power in the region. Analysts suggest that the Trump administration could leverage its newfound approach to reshape alliances, potentially sidelining traditional partners in favor of more transactional relationships. In the coming months, as the Trump administration embarks on its second term, the world will be watching closely to see how these shifts manifest in policy and practice. The potential for increased tariffs and a reevaluation of trade agreements presents both opportunities and challenges, not only for the United States but for its global partners. As nations navigate this new reality, the enduring question remains: can America redefine its role on the world stage while maintaining the delicate balance of power that underpins international relations? The unfolding narrative of the Trump Doctrine is not merely about a change in leadership, it reflects a deeper existential inquiry into the future of American foreign policy. As the world stands at this crossroads, the next chapter promises to be as contentious as it is transformative, offering a unique lens through which to view the evolution of global diplomacy in the 21st century, in an era marked by economic fluctuations and evolving market dynamics. The recent surge in stock prices has both intrigued and perplexed investors. With the S&P 500 index experiencing a remarkable 25% rise year-to-date, questions about the sustainability of this growth are at the forefront of many discussions. This context frames the insightful commentary from the Motley Fool. which delved into the intricacies of stock investment strategies and broader market trends in a piece published on January 16, 2025. A key question posed by a reader from Keene, New Hampshire highlights a common dilemma: did I buy at a too high price? The Motley Fool emphasizes the importance of looking forward rather than dwelling on past purchase prices. Investors are encouraged to focus on the intrinsic value of stocks rather than their historical highs. As the Fool notes, what matters most is where the shares are now and where you think they're headed. This perspective is crucial, especially in a market environment characterized by volatility and uncertainty. The conversation also shifts to the concept of a stock's float, the number of shares available for public trading, which can significantly influence a stock's volatility. The Motley Fool explains that smaller floats can lead to heightened price fluctuations, making it essential for investors to understand the dynamics of supply and demand in the market. The article further highlights the significance of understanding one's rights as a taxpayer. With the Taxpayer Bill of Rights established in 2014, taxpayers are empowered with clear guidelines and protections when dealing with the IRS. This is particularly relevant as individuals navigate financial decisions in a complex economic landscape. In a lighter segment, a contributor shared a personal investment story involving Apple stock, illustrating the unpredictable nature of the market. The anecdote serves as a reminder of the potential rewards of patience and the importance of strategic decision-making in investment. As the discussion transitions to investment vehicles, the Motley Fool advocates for the Vanguard Growth ETF ticker, DUG, as a prudent option for investors seeking stability amidst market fluctuations. With a low annual fee and a diverse portfolio heavily weighted in technology stocks, the ETF aligns well with the growth aspirations of many investors. Notably, companies like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, and Amazon comprise a significant portion of its holdings, contributing to its impressive average annual gains over the past 5 years. In the realm of real estate, San Mateo County recently reported all-time high median home prices reaching nearly $2 million in 2024. Despite a slight decline in condominium prices, the overall market remains robust, driven by factors such as low inventory and strong liquidity from local tech firms. As noted by Compass realtor Raziel Unger, the sustained high prices amid rising interest rates reflect a resilient market dynamic. When you have so few transactions happening, and you have interest rates double what they were 24 to 36 months before and prices were still so strong, that's pretty impressive. However, challenges loom on the horizon, particularly in the home insurance sector, where increased fire risks following devastating wildfires in Los Angeles have made obtaining coverage more difficult. The changing landscape of insurance underscores the need for buyers to conduct thorough research and secure multiple quotes before committing to a purchase. As we look ahead, the interplay between fluctuating interest rates, evolving market conditions, and the ongoing challenges in real estate and insurance will undoubtedly shape the financial landscape. Investors are urged to remain vigilant and adaptable, keeping a keen eye on market trends and potential shifts that could impact their strategies. The insights shared by the Motley Fool and the broader economic indicators suggest that while opportunities abound, careful consideration and informed decision-making will be critical in navigating the complexities of today's financial markets. In a scene that seemed straight out of a wildlife documentary, a large hawk found itself in an unusual predicament after becoming lodged in the grille of a Honda CR-V in Chelmsford, Massachusetts. The incident unfolded on a Thursday afternoon when Judy Harmon and her husband, traveling back to Maine, experienced a sudden surprise on the road. "It came so quickly," Harmon recalled. "Like, boom, there it is." Unsure of whether they had hit the bird, the couple pulled over at a nearby rest stop only to discover two big eyes staring back at them from the car's grille. Harmon described the moment as surreal, exclaiming, "It was like a movie. It looked like National Geographic." The couple's calm response was crucial as they quickly alerted the authorities. State police environmental officers and Chelmsford's animal control were soon on the scene to assist in the rescue. Mark Chauncey, the animal control officer for Chelmsford and Tingsboro, explained that hawks can become hyper-focused on their prey during hunting, leading them to forget their surroundings. In this case, the hawk had swooped down from the median, colliding with the vehicle. Stan Dektiar, service director of New Car Honda of Westford, noted that this was a first for him, especially with the bird being alive. "We were a little worried obviously about being that close to a wild hawk, but he was. The bird was relatively calm," he said, reflecting on the unexpected nature of the rescue. As for the car, it sustained damage to the grille, but Harmon remained grateful that the hawk was unharmed. "I mean, the grille is broken and it's a brand new car, but the bird is alive," she stated. Fortunately, the hawk appeared to be in good health aside from some ruffled feathers. And there is hope it will soon take to the skies again. "It's a reminder that wildlife and human activity often intersect in unexpected ways," Chauncey said. With the hawk safely freed, the incident serves as a testament to the importance of quick thinking and calmness in the face of wildlife emergencies. As for future developments, local authorities hope to raise awareness about the need for vigilance while driving through areas populated by wildlife, particularly as such encounters become more common in suburban settings. The looming fate of TikTok in the United States hangs in the balance as the Supreme Court prepares to potentially deliver a ruling on the controversial law mandating the app's sale or ban. As of January 16, 2025, rumors suggest that a decision could come as early as the following day, just ahead of the January 19 deadline for TikTok's compliance. The impending ban has stirred significant political and public discourse with implications that reach far beyond the app itself. The Biden administration, facing mounting pressure, has decided against intervening in the law that requires TikTok's parent company ByteDance to either divest its U.S. operations or face a ban. Reports indicate that President Biden's team had briefly explored options to delay the enforcement of the ban, but ultimately concluded that legal authority to do so was lacking. In contrast, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has voiced his belief that more time is needed to facilitate an American acquisition of TikTok, highlighting the challenges posed by the app's current ownership structure and the bipartisan support for the law passed last year. As the clock ticks down, former President Donald Trump, who is set to take office just a day after the ban is scheduled to take effect, is reportedly considering an executive order to suspend enforcement of the ban for 2 to 3 months. Such a move could provide a reprieve for TikTok and its millions of American users, while potentially paving the way for a resolution that satisfies both national security concerns and the app's significant cultural presence in the U.S. The stakes involved are significant, with analysts estimating that ByteDance could demand between $40 billion to $50 billion for TikTok's U.S. operations. Interest from various investors has emerged, including proposals from billionaire Frank McCourt's Project Liberty, which aims to acquire TikTok by creating a locally operated digital infrastructure, although it would not include the app's critical algorithm. The Supreme Court's earlier hearings have indicated a possible inclination toward upholding the law, focusing on national security concerns tied to TikTok's Chinese ownership. This backdrop of legal scrutiny reflects broader anxieties in the U.S. about data privacy and foreign influence concerns that officials argue could allow the Chinese government access to sensitive American user data. As the situation develops, the implications of a potential ban extend beyond the app itself. With approximately 170 million Americans using TikTok, a shutdown could disrupt countless creators and businesses that rely on the platform for income and engagement. There are also fears that if TikTok is banned, the data of American users could end up back in China, an issue underscored by previous instances where user data was retained after the app's operations ceased in other countries. With the future of TikTok uncertain and political maneuvering intensifying, the coming days are poised to be crucial. should the Supreme Court rule in favor of the law. The ramifications could reshape not only the digital landscape but also how American companies interact with foreign-owned platforms. As Washington navigates this contentious issue, attention will increasingly turn to Trump's administration and its approach to mitigating the fallout from a possible TikTok ban. The resolution of this saga will likely set a precedent for future dealings with foreign technology firms and may influence the broader discourse on data privacy and security in the digital age. In a significant move aimed at enhancing executive leadership development, Dow Jones has launched the Wall Street Journal Leadership Institute, a new program tailored specifically for top-tier business leaders. Announced on January 16, 2025, this initiative, spearheaded by Dow Jones President Ellen Murray, seeks to redefine the landscape of executive learning by leveraging the trusted insights of the Wall Street Journal and its affiliated publications. The Wall Street Journal Leadership Institute will build upon existing membership communities and introduce several novel offerings to meet the evolving needs of today's CEOs and directors. Commencing February 3, the Institute will feature a daily newsletter, the Wall Street Journal CEO Brief, providing time-strapped executives with critical insights and analysis on the most pressing business news. Leading large organizations through this period of immense change and uncertainty is one of the greatest challenges our society faces, Murray remarked, emphasizing the Institute's goal of equipping leaders with the tools to navigate these challenges. Central to the Institute's offerings is the Wall Street Journal CEO Council, Titans, an exclusive group for CEOs of public companies generating over $10 billion in annual revenue. This council will not only facilitate networking but also serve as an advisory board for the Institute. Additionally, the Wall Street Journal Executive Fellows Program will pair current executives with seasoned leaders through mentorship opportunities facilitated by a partnership with the Onyx Group, which comprises former Fortune 500 CEOs. The Wall Street Journal Top Directors Council, slated to launch later this year, will cater to board members of companies with annual revenues exceeding $1 billion. This initiative builds on the upcoming publication of the WSJ's inaugural Top Directors list, set to debut in the spring of 2025. Looking ahead, the Institute plans to establish a community for next-generation C-suite leaders by early 2026, further expanding its reach and impact within the corporate leadership landscape. The establishment of the Wall Street Journal Leadership Institute comes at a time of heightened demand for high-value services targeting executives, marking a strategic expansion for Dow Jones. The Institute aims to capitalize on the growing need for peer networking opportunities and exclusive events, positioning itself as a vital resource for leaders operating in an increasingly complex business environment. In a parallel development, TikTok's CEO Shou Chew is set to attend the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. This attendance is particularly noteworthy given the controversial history surrounding the app, which Trump had previously sought to ban during his first term. Reports indicate that Chew will be seated alongside tech titans like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos, setting the stage for a high-profile reunion of influential figures in technology and media. As Chew prepares for this significant event, the future of TikTok hangs in the balance. Following the passage of legislation requiring ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, to divest its American operations or face a ban, Trump is reportedly considering an executive order to pause the enforcement of this law for several months. This potential reprieve underscores the complexities of the interplay between technology companies and government regulations, particularly as Trump's administration appears to shift towards a more favorable stance on TikTok. Meanwhile, Prophecy, a low-code data transformation platform, has announced a $47 million funding round led by Smith Point Capital to further its mission of integrating AI into data workflows. This funding follows a period of remarkable growth for the company, which has seen a 3.5x revenue increase in the past year. Prophecy's platform aims to democratize data access and streamline the data integration process, making it easier for enterprises to harness data for AI and analytics. The concurrent developments within executive leadership initiatives, high-profile political engagements, and the evolution of data integration tools present a vivid picture of the dynamic landscape facing today's business leaders. As organizations navigate these complexities, the demand for innovative solutions and strategic networking opportunities will only continue to grow. Looking forward, it will be essential to observe how these initiatives unfold and the impacts they will have on leadership practices and the broader business environment. In a day marked by significant cybersecurity breaches and shifts in the financial landscape, the U.S. Treasury Department has found itself at the center of escalating concerns over state-sponsored cyber threats. Reports emerged on January 16, 2025. Indicating that Chinese hackers successfully infiltrated the computer systems of U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, accessing unclassified files and sensitive data. This breach has raised alarm bells within government circles as it highlights vulnerabilities in national security and the increasing sophistication of cyber attacks. According to sources familiar with the situation, the breach involved not only Yellen's computer, but also those of key aides, including Deputy Secretary Wally Adeyemo and Acting Under Secretary Brad Smith. Although less than 50 files were reportedly accessed from Yellen's machine, the implications are profound. The attackers focused on the Treasury's role in sanctions and international affairs, underlining the strategic importance of the information they sought. Notably, they did not penetrate classified systems, a detail that may mitigate the potential fallout but nonetheless underscores the need for stringent cybersecurity measures. Chris Hayden, a spokesperson for the Treasury, declined to comment on the breach, which has already led to briefings for congressional aides and lawmakers. This incident coincides with ongoing discussions surrounding the confirmation hearing for Scott Bessent, President-elect Donald Trump's nominee for Treasury Secretary, indicating the timing's potential impact on political and economic discourse. In a broader context, the breach is part of a trend where Chinese state-sponsored hackers have increasingly targeted high-ranking officials within U.S. federal departments. The attack has drawn parallels to previous incidents that have compromised sensitive government data and raised questions about the adequacy of existing cybersecurity protocols. In related news, the financial markets experienced turbulence, closing negatively on the same day as the Treasury breach was reported. The S&P 500, Dow Jones, and Nasdaq Composite all registered declines, reflecting investor anxiety amid geopolitical tensions and economic uncertainties. This downward trend has led to speculation about the potential impacts on investor confidence and market stability, especially as concerns mount over U.S.-China relations and trade policies. Moreover, in a separate but equally significant development, British asset management firm Schroders announced plans to cut approximately 3% of its workforce, primarily in its technology division. This decision, affecting around 200 jobs, comes just 2 months after the appointment of new CEO Richard Oldfield, who has initiated a strategic overhaul aimed at repositioning the firm for growth. The move indicates a shift in focus within the asset management industry, where companies are increasingly prioritizing efficiency and technological advancements. As these events unfold, the implications for national security, market dynamics, and corporate strategies remain profound. The Treasury breach serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities inherent in our digital infrastructure, while the financial markets reaction highlights the interconnectedness of geopolitical developments and economic performance. Looking forward, it will be crucial for both government agencies and private enterprises to enhance their cybersecurity measures and adapt to the rapidly changing landscape of global finance. The realm of health and nutrition continues to evolve rapidly, especially as new studies shed light on the multifaceted impacts of the COVID-19 virus and its implications for cardiovascular health. A recent report from the American Heart Association highlights significant findings from ongoing research into how SARS-CoV-2, the virus responsible for COVID-19, affects not only respiratory functions but also blood vessels and heart health. The narrative surrounding COVID-19 has shifted since its emergence. Initially perceived as a respiratory illness, it has become increasingly clear that the virus possesses a profound ability to disrupt various organs and systems. Dr. Chiara Giannarelli, an associate professor at NYU Grossman School of Medicine, emphasized this shift, stating, "Since the beginning, the virus showed a very dramatic ability to affect different organs and systems beyond the respiratory system. Early observations indicated that COVID-19 could inflict damage on the heart, raising concerns about its potential to increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes." As researchers delved deeper into the effects of the virus, a crucial realization emerged: the immune response to SARS-CoV-2 plays a pivotal role in the damage inflicted on the cardiovascular system. Dr. Delisa Fairweather, a leading researcher in cardiovascular diseases at the Mayo Clinic, noted the duality of impacts. Damage occurs both in the blood vessel walls and the heart muscle, stemming from the same immune mechanisms. She explained, in one case, it's happening in the blood vessel walls, and in the other, it's in the heart muscle. It's just in a different location. What's important is the immune response to the virus. The virus's entry into the body typically occurs through the eyes, nose, or mouth, targeting cells in both the lungs and blood vessels. The presence of ACE2 receptors on these cells facilitates the virus's entry, which disrupts normal cellular functions and triggers an inflammatory response. Fairweather elaborated on the virus's mechanism, stating that it hijacks mitochondria, vital components that produce cellular energy, resulting in a massive alarm signal that can lead to a cytokine storm, an overwhelming immune response that can cause considerable harm. While researchers are still deciphering the precise reasons behind this exaggerated immune reaction, the implications are clear. The resulting inflammation can exacerbate conditions like atherosclerosis, increasing the risk of heart disease and stroke. Giannarelli's team investigated tissue specimens from COVID-19 patients and discovered viral RNA within immune cells in the heart, indicating the virus's presence in these critical locations. This finding underscored the possibility that the virus could persist, continually triggering inflammatory responses that could compromise cardiovascular health. A recent study in the journal Arteriosclerosis, Thrombosis, and Vascular Biology has confirmed the prolonged risk of cardiovascular events in individuals infected with the virus, extending up to 3 years post-infection. This data raises alarms about the long-term implications of COVID-19, particularly for vulnerable populations such as older adults and those with pre-existing health conditions. However, there is a silver lining in this ongoing battle. Fairweather noted that as immunity builds through vaccinations and natural reinfection, the immune response is likely to become more efficient and appropriately calibrated. The immune system should calm down, and therefore the threat should go down over time, she stated, providing a glimmer of hope for the future. As the scientific community continues to unravel the connections between COVID-19 and cardiovascular health, it remains essential to focus on preventive measures and the importance of vaccination. The insights gained from this ongoing research not only contribute to our understanding of COVID-19, but also highlight the necessity of a proactive approach to health in a post-pandemic world. With continued research, we can anticipate further developments that may ultimately lead to better management strategies for those affected by the virus and its lasting impacts. In a groundbreaking study published in Nature Synthesis, researchers have unveiled a significant advancement in the field of metal halide perovskites, specifically focusing on the room temperature epitaxial growth of alpha CH3 and H3PBI3 films using pulsed laser deposition (PLD). This innovative approach not only addresses critical gaps in thin film heteroepitaxy, but also opens the door to new applications in optoelectronics and solar energy technologies. The team comprised of experts from institutions including the University of Twente and the Academy of Sciences of the Czech Republic demonstrated the successful epitaxial stabilization of cubic alpha CH3 and H3PBI3 on lattice-matched KCl substrates. The significance of this work lies in its potential to enhance the stability and performance of metal halide perovskites, which have been the subject of extensive research due to their promising characteristics for solar cells and light-emitting devices. Key findings from the study confirm that the epitaxial growth process achieved at room temperature resulted in films exhibiting a bandgap of 1.66 eV stable for over 300 days. Furthermore, the Erbach energy measured was 12.3 MeV for 15 nm thick films, indicating minimal disorder in the material. These results were corroborated by various characterization techniques, including reciprocal space mapping and X-ray diffraction pole figures, which provided insights into the crystalline quality and structural integrity of the films. The researchers also employed first principles density functional theory calculations to explore the impact of strain on alpha phase stabilization. The findings suggest that the ability to tune the bandgap of these materials could lead to enhanced functionalities in future applications such as photodetectors and light-emitting diodes. By demonstrating the feasibility of room temperature epitaxy for metal halide perovskites, we are paving the way for their integration into next-generation optoelectronic devices, stated Unia S. Solomon, one of the lead authors of the study. This innovative technique not only simplifies the fabrication process, but also addresses critical challenges related to the stability and efficiency of perovskite-based devices. As the demand for efficient and sustainable energy solutions continues to rise, the implications of this research are profound. The ability to grow high-quality perovskite films at room temperature could significantly reduce production costs and energy consumption associated with traditional deposition methods. Moreover, the findings could inspire further studies aimed at unlocking novel functionalities in this versatile class of materials. Looking ahead, the research community is poised to build upon these findings, exploring the full potential of pulsed laser deposition in the realm of metal halide perovskites. This work marks a pivotal step toward realizing more efficient, stable, and cost-effective materials for a variety of applications, heralding a new era in the field of optoelectronics and renewable energy technologies. As researchers delve deeper into the intricacies of perovskite materials, the prospects for their integration into practical applications appear increasingly promising. The landscape of artificial intelligence and marketing technology is evolving at a breakneck pace, with companies striving to harness the power of AI not only for innovation but also to maintain profitability. As generative AI becomes increasingly mainstream, the challenges faced by key players like OpenAI raise questions about the sustainability of their business models. With over 300 million weekly active users, OpenAI's ChatGPT has become a household name, yet its CEO Sam Altman recently revealed a troubling reality: we are currently losing money on OpenAI Pro subscriptions. People use it much more than we expected. This statement underscores a paradox in the generative AI industry, where rising usage translates into escalating operational costs rather than economies of scale. The financial demands of running AI services stem primarily from the immense computing power required, leading to significant investments in data centers and energy consumption. OpenAI reported a staggering loss of approximately $5 billion against revenues of $3.7 billion last year, a stark contrast to the more favorable trajectories of other tech sectors that have begun to turn profits, such as Uber and Spotify, both of which have found ways to reduce overhead costs. As OpenAI and other pure-play generative AI companies navigate this turbulent landscape, they face the threat of commoditization. Without clear differentiators among their services, customers are likely to prioritize price over brand loyalty, exacerbating the financial strain. Meanwhile, industry giants like Google and Microsoft, while also investing heavily in AI, benefit from diversified revenue streams that buffer against the high costs associated with AI initiatives. In the midst of these developments, the marketing technology sector continues to innovate. A plethora of new tools and platforms aimed at enhancing marketing strategies through AI was recently unveiled. Quad/Graphics launched At-Home Connect, a platform blending email and print marketing for a more impactful omnichannel approach. Simply.fi introduced Autopilot AI, enabling advertisers to manage campaigns seamlessly, while SearchSpring's partnership with Clever resulted in Athos Commerce, an integrated platform for e-commerce product discovery. These innovations highlight a growing trend where AI is not just a tool for data processing, but is increasingly seen as a pivotal component for enhancing user engagement and personalization in marketing strategies. For instance, Algolia's new shopping guides tool employs AI to create informative content for e-commerce platforms, helping shoppers navigate their purchasing journey more effectively. However, the AI ecosystem is not without its challenges. As companies race to deploy AI solutions, the potential pitfalls of over-reliance on technology loom large. The question remains: are marketers placing too much trust in AI-driven tools, risking strategic missteps in their campaigns? Amidst these discussions, a different narrative is emerging on the geopolitical front. With Donald Trump poised to assume the presidency for a second term, his administration's proposed tariffs on imports from China, Mexico, and Canada could significantly impact the tech industry. In a stark warning, industry analysts predict that tariffs could inflate prices on essential tech products such as laptops and smartphones by up to 46% and 26% respectively. These price hikes could lead to a dramatic decrease in consumer spending across various tech categories, potentially stifling innovation and market growth. As the industry braces for these shifts, the interplay between AI advancements and regulatory changes will be crucial in shaping the future of the technology sector. Companies will need to balance the pursuit of innovation with the economic realities of operating in a rapidly changing environment. Looking ahead, the evolution of AI-powered marketing solutions, coupled with the potential impacts of trade policies, will undoubtedly play a significant role in defining the landscape of technology in the coming years, as the world increasingly turns its sights towards securing critical minerals essential for modern technology. The deep sea has emerged as a new frontier for exploration and extraction. Recent reports suggest that the incoming Trump administration may provide a significant boost to deep-sea mining, a controversial practice that has garnered both interest and skepticism from environmentalists and policymakers alike. The Wall Street Journal highlighted that several nominees in the Trump administration have expressed support for deep-sea mining, which typically involves the extraction of egg-like nodules from the ocean floor. These nodules are rich in minerals such as copper, nickel, and cobalt, all of which are indispensable for data centers and the broader energy transition. The growing demand for these critical minerals, reminiscent of the oil rush, has prompted countries to explore unconventional sources, including the depths of the ocean. However, the prospect of deep-sea mining is fraught with ecological concerns. Marine ecosystems at great depths are known for their slow growth and fragility, making them particularly vulnerable to disturbances caused by mining activities. Scientists have raised alarms regarding the long-lasting impacts of sediment plumes generated by mining operations, which could leave irreparable scars on the ocean floor. The ramifications for deep-sea life are equally concerning, as many organisms rely on the geothermal vents and nodules themselves for energy and oxygen. The International Seabed Authority, a United Nations body responsible for regulating mining in international waters, has already received a permit application from the Metals Company, a U.S. entity collaborating with Nauru, an impoverished island nation in the Pacific. This development has sparked interest from other nations including Canada, the UK and France. all of which have called for a moratorium on deep-sea mining due to its potential environmental risks. Key figures in the new administration, such as Marco Rubio, who is expected to lead the State Department, and Elise Stefanik, Trump's pick for UN ambassador, will play crucial roles in shaping international policies on deep-sea mining. Their negotiations with other countries will be instrumental in determining the regulatory framework governing this emerging industry. Despite the seemingly favorable political landscape for deep-sea mining, the sector faces significant hurdles. A notable trend among battery manufacturers is a shift away from expensive minerals like nickel and cobalt, which could negatively impact demand and consequently the profitability of deep-sea mining ventures. As the global race for critical minerals continues to intensify, the future of deep-sea mining hangs in the balance. The incoming administration's actions will undoubtedly influence both the regulatory environment and the ecological sustainability of mining practices in the ocean's depths. The coming years may determine whether the world can balance its insatiable demand for technology with the preservation of the delicate ecosystems that exist beneath the waves. The outcome remains uncertain, but the stakes could not be higher for both industry and the environment. In a significant diplomatic development, Ukraine and the Netherlands have solidified their strategic partnership as underscored by recent high-level discussions in Kiev. The meeting between Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha and his Dutch counterpart Casper Veldkamp on January 16, 2025 marked a pivotal moment in their mutual commitment to counter Russian aggression and bolster Ukraine's defense capabilities. As the war in Ukraine continues to evolve, this partnership not only highlights the international community's ongoing support for Ukraine but also reflects broader geopolitical shifts within Europe. During their bilateral talks, the ministers outlined a comprehensive agenda that included preparations for the European Union's 16th sanctions package aimed at tightening pressure on Russia. Sybiha emphasized the need for stronger sanctions to raise the cost of war for the aggressor, a sentiment echoed by Veldkamp. Both diplomats acknowledged the importance of closing loopholes that allowed for the circumvention of existing sanctions. This approach is part of a concerted effort to ensure that Russia faces substantial repercussions for its actions. At the heart of the discussions was a commitment to enhancing Ukraine's military capabilities. Sybiha expressed gratitude for the Netherlands' contributions to Ukraine's air defense, which include radar systems and Patriot missile launchers, as well as ongoing supplies of F-16 fighter jets and artillery ammunition. "We are thankful for the decision to allocate €1 billion for artillery ammunition," Sybiha noted, highlighting the Netherlands' critical role in Ukraine's defense strategy. Veldkamp further reinforced this support by announcing new aid packages, totaling €27 million aimed at bolstering Ukraine's armed forces and energy sector. This financial assistance underscores the Netherlands' unwavering commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity amidst the ongoing conflict. The discussions also touched upon Ukraine's aspirations for EU and NATO integration. Both ministers agreed to establish an annual bilateral intergovernmental conference, which is expected to facilitate Ukraine's accession process and foster deeper ties between the two nations. "This new format will elevate our relations to a new level of partnership," Sybiha stated, emphasizing the importance of economic collaboration and increased Dutch investment in Ukraine's recovery and reconstruction efforts. Adding a historical dimension to the visit, Sybiha presented archival diplomatic documents from the era of the Ukrainian People's Republic showcasing the long-standing friendship between Ukraine and the Netherlands. This gesture not only reflects the deep-rooted ties between the two nations, but also serves to remind both parties of their shared values and commitment to democracy. As the war in Ukraine continues, the strengthening of this partnership comes at a crucial time. With the Netherlands stepping up its support and committing substantial resources, the implications for Ukraine's defense and recovery efforts are profound. The collaborative focus on air defense capabilities and military production, particularly in drones, signals a proactive approach to ensuring Ukraine's resilience against ongoing threats. Looking ahead, the outcomes of this partnership could influence the broader European security landscape, especially as Russia's actions remain a dominant concern. The continued cooperation between Ukraine and the Netherlands may serve as a model for other nations grappling with similar challenges in the region. As both countries navigate this complex geopolitical terrain, their alliance is likely to evolve, potentially shaping the future of European security and diplomatic relations. In an alarming trend that underscores the escalating consequences of climate change, recent research has revealed that severe droughts worldwide are becoming increasingly prolonged, hotter and drier. The findings indicate that these extended periods of drought, some categorized as megadroughts, are expanding by approximately 50,000 square kilometers each year, an area larger than Switzerland. This disturbing trend poses significant risks to agriculture ecosystems and water resources globally. A study led by Dirk Karger of the Swiss Federal Institute for Forest, Snow and Landscape Research analyzed over 13,000 droughts lasting 2 years or more between 1980 and 2018. The researchers discovered that the most severe multi-year droughts have intensified since the 1980s, with rising temperatures exacerbating their effects. Warmer air holds more moisture, leading to increased evaporation from the land, coupled with shifting precipitation patterns that often result in reduced rainfall. This combination has been particularly evident in recent megadroughts across North and South America, which have been described as the worst in a millennium. The area affected by the 500 most severe drought events each year is expanding rapidly, Karger noted, emphasizing the scale of the problem. Satellite imagery has corroborated these findings, showing significant browning of ecosystems, especially in temperate grasslands, which are particularly sensitive to water availability. In contrast, tropical and boreal forests exhibited a smaller response to the changing conditions. While the study did not explicitly quantify the influence of human-induced climate change on these trends, experts agree that the patterns align with expectations related to rising global temperatures. Benjamin Cook, a climate scientist at Columbia University, remarked, "The cumulative impact of droughts is really what matters for both people and ecosystems. Long-term drought can have consequences just as severe as climate disasters like wildfires or hurricanes." This research serves as a stark reminder of the urgency surrounding climate action as communities globally grapple with the ramifications of these environmental changes. The potential for widespread agricultural disruption and ecological damage could escalate if these trends continue unabated. As the global community seeks solutions to mitigate climate change, understanding the intricate dynamics of drought and their implications will be essential for developing effective strategies. Looking ahead, the interplay between climate change and water cycles will likely remain a focal point of scientific inquiry. Further research is needed to quantify the extent of human impact on these shifts, and to explore adaptive strategies that can bolster resilience in vulnerable regions. As we move closer to critical climate thresholds, the need for innovative solutions and a collaborative global response has never been more pressing.